Hey, this is Dr. Eric Fields. Today I'm going to be discussing change. The two things that I want to focus on when discussing change is one, are you truly ready for it? Are you ready to embrace change? And the second thing is, if you're thinking that change is too overwhelming in the sense that you have to make too big of a change, that there's something I want you to keep in mind that will make it less overwhelming. The first one, I think, is really the bigger issue, and that is whether or not you're truly ready for it. A lot of people have fears of failure. That's a pretty common fear that we have in terms of, you know, not doing so well in our career, or fearing that we're not getting to the next level that we need to be. Definitely having a fear of failure as parents, a fear of failure as a life partner, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But what's not talked about so much is a fear of success. So you might be thinking to yourself, why in the world would I fear success with weight loss? I'm looking better. I'm feeling better. Um, I'm happy with my new body and the progress that I've been making. That's leading me to be more confident in other areas of life. Why in the world would I possibly be fearing success with weight loss? Well, there are a few reasons. And one is basically this fear of success being a disguised fear of failure. So let me explain that. What if I'm really successful and I do great, and then I blow it and I gain back all the weight? What if all of a sudden I'm like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. I never want to go back to my old patterns, my old ways. And for whatever reason, at some point, maybe I'm not so diligent with my efforts. Maybe I'm not so on top of things, and my weight starts creeping back up on me. And here I am in the same situation. And now I feel much worse knowing what life is like on the other side. So there's that. And then there's also a comfort with your pattern, your way of life right now. Even though it provides, or even though it leads to a lot of distress, a lot of dissatisfaction with yourself, a lot of grief, a lot of guilt, it's predictable and you know what you're getting. It's the same reason why people stay in toxic relationships. Certain people you probably know that are in relationships that are really unhealthy, and you're like, why does she stay with him? Why does he stay with her? Right. And the reason is because it's comfortable. Even though it's unhealthy, there's a predictability about it. And so right now there's a predictability to the way that you're eating, to the way you're living your life. And doing something differently, even if for the better, can really invoke fear in us. Other reasons that you may fear success with losing all the weight is possibly gaining a lot of attention. Maybe you're the type that doesn't like to be in the spotlight, the limelight. Maybe you're the type that's a little bit more shy or reserved, and you don't want attention to you. And I'm not just talking about attention in the sense of people being more attracted to you physically or any of that nature, although that certainly can happen. Um, but also more attention just in the sense that, wow, look at Sheila. She's lost all this weight. Look at how she looks. Look at Latoya. Look at all the weight that she's lost. Wow. And then people making comments like, wow, you look fantastic, Jen. Look at you. I mean, how much weight did you lose? It's incredible. It's like a new you. You lost almost a whole person. Ha ha ha. Those kind of cheesy jokes that you might have in store for you. You might not really want that attention. And when we change ourselves physically, it's not like changing something internally that other people can't see. Now, of course, when you're changing this physical aspect of you, you are changing something internally, but you are also changing a part of you that people can easily see. It's not something you can hide. And there will be a lot more attention brought to you. Now, some of you listening to this video might be like, hell, I would love that. That's great. Bring it on. But there may be some of you that don't like it. So what I want you to ask yourself is, do I really want to be successful with this? And if not, why? Listen, I have no doubt that you deep down inside want to be successful in this. What I'm basically pointing out is you may have some reservations about being successful with this. You may have some hesitation, which is based on fears. And you really want to get to the bottom of that, because if you don't, then that is going to explain why you haven't started this process yet. Because I absolutely am telling you that you can and will be successful with the right approach and the right type of help. You absolutely can. Behaviors don't define who we are. Just because you've acted a certain way for a long period of time, sure. I mean, as a psychologist who studies behavior, I can say it does have something to do with the person, but it doesn't, it's not who you are in total as a whole complete person. It's one aspect of you. It's this external aspect of you. And it does relate to a part of who you are, but it doesn't define you as a whole person. It's not, all of you. And so when people make these global characterizations of themselves based on their weight, based on their behavior, in terms of their eating style, they say things like, well, this is just who I am. I'm just this overweight person. That you need to stop doing, because that is never going to get you to your goal. And I can tell you right now that that's absolutely false. It is 100% categorically false. It is an aspect of you, one aspect of you, and it is a struggle that you're having that's related to you as a person internally, but it doesn't define you as a person. So the other aspect of change that I wanted to talk about today is this feeling that you have to make these big changes because you may have a lot of weight to lose, and how overwhelming that can be. Don't focus so much on the overall goal. Focus on the day-to-day. If you are making some changes in the positive direction each day, you're going to get to your goal. There's no way. If you start out on a road trip from New York City to Los Angeles, it seems like a very long journey. However, if you stay on that road that takes you across our country from New York City to Los Angeles, you will undoubtedly wind up in Los Angeles as long as you stay on that road. And that's the way I want you to look at your weight loss goal. If you stay on that road, you will get there. There is no doubt about it. So don't look at it as this huge task that needs to be accomplished. Look at it as a day-to-day task. Make 1 or 2 small changes and really try to stick with them. And if that's not enough to really move the scale, you make a couple more. But I think what I've been emphasizing over the last couple of videos is that many times you don't have to make such drastic changes to be in that deficit to start losing weight. but you do have to make some types of changes, and you have to be able to sustain them. Remember, the two fundamental keys to successful weight loss is a plan that actually helps you lose weight and puts you in a deficit, and one you can stick with. This is Dr. Eric Fields. I'll have more to say at a later time.